for 9. ESQ Darlington Agumuo is with us in the studio, but we'd like to establish that you can watch us live on our official website, that's superscreen.tv, or you go to Google Play Store to download any of our apps, Cflix and the Clubboard apps. However, we're broadcasting from UHF 45 and Star Times 173 here in Lagos. ESQ, before we get into the matter, let's quickly have just your personal thought about October 1st in Nigeria. For me, as a young person, this is the first time we don't have green, white, green on the road. You know what I mean? When it's independence growing up, you see a lot of buildings bearing balloons and ribbons. What happened differently? How do you evaluate October 1st for Nigeria?
That will tell you that national values are no longer there. We have lost some of our core values because if you reminiscence on how it used to be in the 70s, you know, because we had independence in 1960. 6 years after, the military came in with the coup, and you know what happened, 67, and the rest is it. So from that, I mean, nationalism started after the war, you know. From 71, because the war ended in 1970. From 71 to, 71, even though a military man was in office. But there was this nationalism, there was this urge to be Nigerian, you know. That time, all this division was not there. I remember those we went to school with another. Nobody bothered about religion and all that. It's so sad. Just because of politics, some ethnic tingles emerged, you know, and started brainwashing their people against other tribes. And that was where this thing started. And unfortunately, those they were brainwashed didn't even know what was happening. They thought that they were helping their leader to, you know, achieve this. Don't know that it was selfish reasons. So the destruction started, you know, when politicians became overambitious. And that was where we lost it. Unfortunately, we have not had any leaders in them who will say, okay, let us go back to the basics. Let us unite Nigeria. Let us do the needful. Okay. You remember, even the military did more than the politicians, because Agumuo started the unification decree of 34 to unite the country, and that was what cost him his life. You can imagine.
All right. So let's come to the speech quickly. There are different schools of thought from different quarters saying it didn't really resonate with the realities of our time, especially for the fact that the president made reference to the oil price and making reference with other nations, Egypt, Cairo, Egypt, and of course Saudi Arabia and the likes in the course of his speech.
I am not surprised though, because since 2015 when he came into office, his speeches, both independent speeches and other speeches, has never been in tandem with realities. Never. Go and check. Didn't he make independent speech last year? And I'm sure next year he will make another one. It has never been in tandem with realities. And that will tell you one thing. Some people are exploiting the president himself. They are exploiting him. His speech writers, all the people around him, they are exploiting him. You know, when you are elderly, there are certain things you cannot be able to do, you know, even if you want to try. You understand? So, and now you have some limitations again. So those around him are exploited. That's why they will write anything and give it to him to come and read.
Okay.
And he will read it.
Let's get to the speech. Which portion of it actually hits you as an individual? The areas of concern for you, even though I have it here and I want to roll out some, but let's start from you as an individual. Of course, you're a citizen of Nigeria. That
comparison was uncalled for. Seriously. And I'm sure the ripple effects would have hit him by now. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, you know, telling us the prices of crude in all these places, or the prices of fuel in these places. It's not a one-way thing. When you want to make comparison, there are other variables you need to consider.
Okay.
And I'm sure the president did not do all this before he came out to tell us. If the minimum wage in Nigeria is 300,000, as in Saudi Arabia, and you increase this fuel to 200 naira per pump, nobody will utter a word. I expected the president to compare the minimum wage in these countries, to compare their standard of living, to compare their the population of that country, to compare the resources they have, before telling us about equal this thing. So this is what, you choose, you're being parochial minded. You just choose the area you want us to hear. Not knowing that some people have this intelligent mind. They can read between lines. It's like when they told us that they were building a rail line to Bandre town, to Niger, that Niger will not continue from there. And some people like us now went to Niger to find out. I mean, you can sit down in your house and get the map of the world and see even a local government in some countries. They now look at the map and saw that the Maradi was in 20 kilometers inside. You will pass 3 times before you get to Maradi. And people did not see what was going on. All
right, let's come to some of the talking points here. We have officially the speech, and of course, it has how many? It's about, this is quite long, but like we said, we're just taking a few. It's about 51 points that was raised. But let's just take from about, I think, 41. Let's come to where it matters on oil and gas now. Let's take it from there. 41 here says, according to the presidential speech, fellow Nigerians, in addition to public health challenges of working to contain the spread of coronavirus, we have suffered a significant drop in our foreign exchange earnings and internal revenue due to 40% drop in oil prices and steep drop in economic activities, leading to a 60% drop in government revenue. That is number 41. Let's go to 42. Our government is grappling with the dual challenge of saving lives and livelihoods in face of drastically reduced resources. 43, according to Mr. President, says, in this regard, sustaining the level of petroleum prices is no longer possible. The government, since coming into office, has recognized the economic argument for adjusting the price of petroleum, but the social argument about knock-on effect of any adjustment weighed heavily with the government. Now, accordingly, in the last 3 years, we have introduced unprecedented measures in support of the economy and to the weakest members of our society in the shape of A, trader money, B, farmer money, C, school feeding program, D, job creation efforts, E, agricultural intervention programs. ESQ, you're smiling. I was thinking these are some of the way forward for us as a people.
Oh, God. What is the way forward? When you increase this fuel from where it was when you came into office to 145, what were the promises you made? Tell me. Promises were made, and none of them was fulfilled. So, I mean, what is all this? So, are we going to live on oil all our lives? The world is going, what do you call it, into other areas of this thing, spirits, to move your automobile, And you
just talked about the automobile.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
That is anything that can move now. Your cars, your cars. Very soon, all these cars that we are using here that they are talking about fuel and fuel, the world will tell you to go and drink your fuel. As I'm speaking to you now, China and other Western countries, America, UK and all, they have already put in place plants, plants that will start the new age in automobile engineering. Because they've discovered that we are destroying our world with this fossil fuel that yes. Okay. So very soon you may not it may not in fact it may become obsolete. Just like before it used to be desktop computer.
Yes, computers with your big
that screen.
Very heavy screen.
Good. Since they first did that, can you go to any office? Can you go to Computer Village? They are like a relic of our history. You see where they pile all of them. So if we don't join the bandwagon of technology, we may be stranded with this oil.
Let's take number 45, according to Mr. President, ESQ. 45 here, according to the President of the Federal Republic, during his independence broadcast, reads, no government in the past did what we are doing with such scarce resources. We have managed to keep things going in spite of the disproportionate spending on security. Those in previous government from 1999 to 2015 who presided over the near destruction of the country have now the impudence to attempt to criticize our effort.
You see, when you see, he said those who were presided since 1999,
To 2015, yes.
Good. You see, when you make, that's why I keep telling you that, look, those who made this speech, who wrote this speech for the president, they didn't like him, seriously. They almost wanted to embarrass him. Did Nigeria start in 1999? Before 1999, what was going on in Nigeria? Was it not the military? His core constituency. We are then not the one in power. We are then not the one. So how can you now separate? And you and I know very well that since 2015 till now, worse things has happened to Nigeria. Economically, corruption-wise, and security-wise.
But the private sector is doing their bits to make sure that we don't go to the doldrums.
The private sector, which private sector? Go to the website of LCCI. I mean, when you talk of industry, it is this Lagos. The whole of West Africa and even Nigeria, it is this Lagos. Go and see how many companies have closed down. Go to their website. The last time I checked, 271 companies closed down because of bad economic policies. The last time I checked, unemployment have risen. You saw it. Even there from NBS, Nigeria's
National Bureau of Statistics.
Yes. They said the thing is rising. The last time I checked, they said our debt profile is rising. So, please, where is this improvement and whatever? This government have opportunity that was never available to PDP in their 16 years in office.
How do you mean?
Good.
You want to point some?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Fine. One, PDP didn't boast of any recovered loot. You know how many times we have recovered Abacha loot since they came in. They abandoned money in the bank due to BVN. The TSA, you know about it. Recoveries from looters by EFCC. Then devaluation of the naira. Devaluation of the naira. PDP never. I told you here once that look, if you sell $1 million worth of crude oil today, you are going to exchange it for at least 400 million naira. Under PDP, it was 197. Look at the gap. Are this not money? Again, you have borrowed more money than PDP's 16 years. It's on record. You have borrowed more money.
And more is here to even come.
And more is coming. So where is this and we did not even see the dividends. We didn't see where this one is going to.
Let's take some more.
You cannot say you have completed one.
Permit me to interject. Let's take some more.
Yes.
Point 46 says, in the circumstances, a responsible government must face realities and take tough decisions. 47, petroleum prices in Nigeria are to be adjusted. We sell now at 161 naira per litre. A comparison with our neighbors will illustrate the point. Chad, which is an oil-producing country, charges 362 naira per litre. Niger, also an oil-producing country, sells 1 litre at 346 naira. In Ghana, another oil-producing country, petroleum pump price is 326 naira per litre. Further afield, Egypt charges 212 naira per litre. Saudi Arabia charges 168 naira per litre. It makes no sense for oil to be cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, fine. This country that you mentioned, is Nigeria supplying them their own fuel? Their oil producing country, their refineries are working. How many refineries are working in Nigeria? How many? Saudi Arabia.
But we have that in 2021, Port Harcourt should be functioning, according to the last.
Chris, let's talk of now, please. They have made promises before, you know it. They told us that with the last increment, they are going to build one refinery every year. This happened in 2016. We are now in 2020. We have not even seen the groundbreaking ceremony of any refinery. So when they told you, is it Dangote refinery?
Yes, we have less than 10 minutes. I need us to get something away. We need to take something from this conversation.
Okay.
Having you in the studio is not something we'll take with levity. We know how it's cost you to drive down here this morning. Looking at it critically, can we change the narrative from the criticisms to focusing on where the low-hanging fruits are as a people?
Where do you get that? There are no longer any low-hanging fruits. So we have plugged all of them, and yet we didn't get any result. The low-hanging fruit, where is it? Look, you cannot develop more than the policy of your country.
How do you mean?
If there is a government policy that says you cannot leave your house today, Chris, will you leave your house?
The lockdown was an example.
Good. I mean, let's assume that was a disease. Government can dictate how far your business can go, whether you like it or not. They can control your business through forex.
Scarcity?
Yes, of course. They can control your business through policies. The companies that closed down, they were operating before they came into office. Why did they close down? Was it not because of harsh business environment? Is that not what caused it? No, tell me, who wouldn't want to do business and make money? But when that business is no longer viable and all that, you move to greener pastures now, just like they moved to Ghana. Is that not what happened? Why are companies moving to Ghana? Then they will bring their goods to Nigeria after producing. Have you asked yourself that question? The foreign direct investment, all of them are going to Ghana. What was the reason?
Yes, it's very important that I bring this. Let's look at how the president wrapped up this conversation. He said, fellow Nigerians, to achieve great country with desire, we need to solidify our strength, increase our commitment, and encourage ourselves to do that which is right and proper, even when one is watching. 50 says, fellow Nigerians, let us collectively resolve to continue our journey beyond the 60 years on the clear understanding that as a nation, we are greater together than being smaller units of nationalities. By special grace of God, we shall come through any transient challenges. This statement, if I interpret as an individual and a Nigerian that I am, he is saying those calling for secession should call it a quit and let's forge ahead as a people.
That we are better off being a bigger country than smaller nationalities. Chris, if you go to Europe, there are some countries that their population is not up to 6 million, but their GDP and their foreign reserve is 10 times what you have in the whole of Nigeria. True or false?
We understand that.
Look, it's no longer a tea party that you are a big country. China knew this thing. That was why they were able to give Hong Kong, Taiwan, or to have independence and have enterprising spirit and all that. And that's why China is moving forward. Russia, USSR discovered that they can no longer cope with their big landmass and population. They gave other states autonomy. And now from USSR, you now have 13 states that are doing very, very well. You and I know that. So this idea that are we better off today than we were when we had independence? Are we better off?
There is a popular joke in the polity currently. Someone wrote something. He said, oh, Nigeria is borrowing too much. With all this call for secession, who is going to pay the debt? Number one. Number two, someone else said, is it not the same people that have opportunity to run the Nigerian states that will go to the regions to run and control their resources?
Look, my brother, you see, the greatest undoing of this government is like putting square peg in a round hole. We don't have our first 11 managing this economy. Seriously. You can see it. I want to give you a typical example.
Okay,
recently, something happened at the International Criminal Court of Justice. A Nigerian was there before. I think that man is from Imo State or so. And I think he retired or something. And they needed a replacement. They brought one Ishaq Bello from Abuja division of our judiciary.
Yes, sir.
To go and replace him. Do you know that the 3 tests they put for that man, he failed all of them. And they had to bring him back. International Court of Criminal Court. 3, he failed all of them. You can imagine. If this government meant well for this country, Akiwumi Adesina will not be at ADB in Ivory Coast. He will not be there. If this country meant well, Okonjo-Iweala will not be
bidding for World Trade
Organization DG. He would have recruited all the people so that what Obasanjo did and what Jonathan did, he can replicate it. But when you are so compartmentalize yourself to your people, if they are running this country well, we will not be where we are today. You can see it all over. So we need the first 11 to run this economy so that the best will come out. But when you are putting square peg in a round hole, you can see. You saw how he went to go and bring Almada Alu to come and head the custom DG. A man who an outsider, who is even from a military background. To go. What has been going on since that time? Just look around.
But custom always bring good numbers when it comes to money.
It is not enough. Oh my God. It is not enough to bring. It is, what value are you adding? It's like him now taking up Minister of Petroleum. What value have he added there? I can bet my last couple. He doesn't know what is going on in that ministry. But he's the Minister of Petroleum. Have you ever had the National Assembly calling him to come and account or do whatever?
ESQ, let's conclude this conversation because I have less than 3 minutes.
So what we are saying in essence is that...
I want to read 51.
Okay.
He said something here and it seems to conjure emotion. Mr. President said in his presidential speech, point 51, which is the close, it is my sincere hope that by the end of the anniversary on September 30th, 2021... Okay, let's take Aliyu quickly from the Keja, then we'll wrap up. Aliyu, good morning.
Is different from other countries? Is it in their currency or based on our own currency? And then, if the USA is selling their oil price, that amount, is it in dollar or in naira? Because that's what I want to know. Is it in their currency or our own currency? And how much is 1 naira? And how much is $1 there? Because I've been in UK, I've been in US. So how much is $1? So if our naira is nothing, and if they are selling one price $1 in America, we now use it to compare in our own country.
Okay.
How much is $1? Why our own currency is too low? Are they selling the one price $300 and something in US? Is it in dollar? Why not we selling our own 1 naira here? And see other countries whose our own naira is more higher than their own currency to please, my brother.
All right.
Good morning.
Okay. Aliyu, thank you very much for calling from the
increment, this price hike here and there is the idea of IMF and World Bank. You heard what he said, that if they should deviate from this higher price increment, that the World Bank and the IMF will be angry with Nigeria. Is that not what he said?
Does that not justify who plays the piper?
Of course, we are being, look, after IMF it will be China. Just wait.
Okay, ESQ, what will happen in this light is that further deep dive into this conversation will be very important for us. I just want to say what Mr. President echoed. I want to echo what Mr. President said on the 1st of October as his wrap-up. He said, it is my sincere hope that by the end of the anniversary on September 30th, 2021, we will all be proud of taking this individual and collective self-assessment for the progress of our great nation. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you all. Thank you. Okay. I want to drop. Yes. Yeah.
Fine. By 2021 October, bring this. We'll do analysis. Do and give this. I kept my own. By 2021, it's almost here. There's nothing in years now. By 2020, bring this paper.
Yes, we'll bring it up again.
And then read, and then you will tell me yourself whether what was promised has been fulfilled.
All right, ESQ.
As if we didn't hear other speeches, other independent speeches.
ESQ.
That came to nothing at the end of the day.
ESQ. We can't thank you enough for making it to the show, but because for want of time, many thanks. And of course, Aliyu and Odo that tried to call. My producer has been giving me several signals that your calls are coming in, but we couldn't take that for want of time. We'll have our second guest that is going to join us, and we're changing the conversation. The conversation is going to be centered around what it means for you to be a customer to any business. We're going to be looking at the Customer Service Week. It's a global celebration, of course. We've seen some organizations done in different kind of outfits. You walk into some banks and you see the teller dressing like a nurse. Very interesting sight we've seen thus far. But we're going to be having a conversation with a brand that we had here on the 1st of October. But this time around, we're doing a switch and we'll have the gentleman join us. Sir.
Yeah, you must remember that Nigeria is a customer to some countries. So you look at how they treat us now. Are we not?
Thank you very much, ESQ Agumuo. Okay, we'll take a break now. When we come back, you'll meet our next guest and we'll change the conversation. Looking forward to what the private sector is doing. Those that actually thought it wise that they can put their money here and drive businesses. Do join us again.